Okay, on to the next parts. I'm going to do the bottom and the lid. So let's start with the bottom. Let's just start it here. It's fine. All right, this is going to be 2 by 3. So 3 inches by 2 inches. Keeping with our 2-inch by 3-inch box dimensions. All right, and this one we're not going to use finger joints, we're using pin joints, and we have to remember where we left our pin joints. So if you remember, these are in 1/8 of an inch from the sides. These are 1/8 of an inch from the side and one stuck in the middle. So let's go and put some pin joints in. All right, so again, we're gonna do our little rectangles. We're gonna do 0.265 again, 0.14 again, and we're gonna position them, unsurprisingly, 1/8 of an inch in from the end. And we're gonna do the same on the other side. Oh, except we're not gonna do this as a dimension. We'll do this as a box. 265, 0.14. Let's go bring this in, 1/8 of an inch. I could have mirrored it at this point. That would have worked too. Gonna do a center point rectangle now. It's gonna be a pain. I'm gonna do just one of these. I'm gonna try to put the dimension so it goes in the center. 0.265, 0.14. That's obviously not in the center. I'm gonna have to use a dimension. How do I get a dimension so that it goes the proper amount? Well, this side is 3, so half of that would be 1.5, right? And you look and you say, that's not in the center. That doesn't look right. Well, that's because this is 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to need this to be centered. So I'm going to need, it's actually 1/4 of an inch and a 64th. But I'm just going to treat it like a 1/4 of an inch for now. So let's take this and let's subtract 1/4 of an inch then. I look and I say, that still doesn't look right. What am I doing wrong here? Because if you go 1/4 of an inch, that would make this line over here in the center. Well, I wanted the whole thing in the center. So I'm going to do half of 1/4 of an inch, which is 1/8 of an inch. And so this one, it's going to go oh, helps if I do that. All right, so I'm going to add an 1/8 of an inch. So 1.325, 3/8. And then I look and I say, hey, that totally looks like it. If I can get it to line up in the 3D. No, why would it line up in the 3D? It looks right. It's in the center. You could have also done this with a center point rectangle, and then you could have dimensioned to the center. But now that we've got it, that's all we need. Let's go and make ourselves a line in the center. Go to mirror, mirror line, these ones. There we go. And again, I'm going to need the pins on these sides. So these ones are a little easier. 0.14, 0.265, And again, it's probably going to complain at me. Yeah, it's going to complain. It doesn't like it when I confirm one that's lined up to another one. Just going to remove the dimension. Escape rectangle, go take this one and delete it. Yeah, because it's lined up with that one. If I go through and put it back in again, it'll tell me the right value and it won't complain. I don't know why it does that. It's thinking it's over constrained, but it's not like I tried to change it to the same one. There you go. Bring it in an inch. Bring this one in 1/8 of an inch. Draw a line in the center. Am I not lined up? Oh, because of the because of the 64th. Here, let me try something. Okay, I'm gonna add a 64th. Actually 1/28. 1.35 was it? 0.355. There we go. Let's go change this one as well while I'm at it. A little bit off was bugging me. Oh, good. It changed the other one since we're mirrored. And it's not exact, but it's close enough. All right. Let's go and mirror. Select mirror line. Select these two. Okay, and we'll go through and trim, and we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. And get rid of all these extra lines. Try to get rid of enough that it's not going to try to cut off the fingers when we give this to the laser, because the laser is a robot, and if you tell the robot to do something, it does it without question, and if that thing is not something you wanted, the robot doesn't care because it's a robot. Okay, this is looking right. Let's try to extrude this. 1/8. It's looking good. Looking all about to line up. Okay, let's make a lid. Start a sketch. Let's go over here, got a little space. And this one is going to go 3x2. And then I'm going to say, oh, wait, no, it's not. It's going to go a different value. It's going to go 3 1/8. Because it's going to go on top of this shorter one over here. Okay, the last thing we got to do is we got to put some pins on it. So we've got our pin hinge going. It's going to go 0.125. Let's go 0.14. Now it's 125. We want to make sure it has enough room to spin. 0.14. So we want to make sure it lines up. And I could mirror this, but it's only one little box. So I'm just going to do the same thing on both sides. And I'm going to dimension it in, and we went 1/4 of an inch in. So I'm going to go 0.25, but I actually don't want it to line up exactly. I want it to have a little bit of space over here. So when I open it and it goes at an angle, it, um, it has enough space. A little bit of a gap. We'll see that when we assemble it. Okay, so again, if you're going to do a design, you do it here. And also don't forget to trim it out. Anything on the lid would go on the top. Anything on this piece would go inside the box. This would be the front. This would be the back. You might ask why I didn't draw two of those. Because they're the same part, just flipped around. If you add designs to the side, and whether it's going front ways or back ways matters, or if you want to have a different picture on the left versus the right, then make another one. But if you're not going to have a design on the sides, then you can do it with these 5 pieces. All right, next one is going to be the assembly.